Is Tuesday, August 29th, 2023 at 8:52 a.m. Eastern Time, USA. I'm Mitch Miller. This is my video journal. Today, first I want to talk about Periscope, the platform I proposed several years ago to clean up the political system, right? Bring transparency to the political system, and it's also campaign finance reform, right? It's a platform that politicians can use to connect with their constituents. So I said before, any elected official should only take the salary given to them by the taxpayers. They should not receive any extra money to be used personally, right? That would be considered corrupt. They would be corrupt if they accept additional funds from whoever to pay for personal expenses. They should only use the salary given to them. If they don't, they are corrupt. But we have a tricky situation where to get reelected, you need to raise money for your campaign. Right, and that's where more favor situations come in. I'll donate $1,000 to your campaign if you vote this way, so on and so forth. It's a flawed system. It's corrupt, and it needs to be changed. And that's where Periscope comes in. That's why I don't understand why no politician has contacted me to fund Periscope and to bring it into fruition, right? So politicians can have a podcast. They publish their schedule with the people they met with, including lobbyists, and they can put out, like on a board, a vote. How should I vote on this bill? Their constituents vote for or against, and they can take that advice and go with their constituents, or they can vote however they want, probably affected by lobbyist money, right? The other thing this is engaged constituents. These are the people that are going to go out and vote. They're going to register with the platform, register their address, and it shows them every elected official they can vote for in their constituency, right? It also allows independent candidates to have an even playing field with the incumbents. And the politicians, the elected officials, the people running for elected office, they have a profile. It tells you their history, like any profile. They get 10, 20, 30, 40 pages to outline all of their policies, what their policies are going to be, right? The ideas they have to improve the government. The ideas they have to improve the everyday lives of citizens. Whether they can bring those to fruition or not, this is what they propose to do. And then they have a podcast where they can talk about whatever they want, right? And that's all that a campaign should be. It should be my profile, the information about me, my education, my upbringing, my what would form my values, and a 40, 50, 100 page typed document of the policies I want to enact, the ideas I have for the government. Right, so this puts us on an even playing field. It's one resource where any citizen in the United States can go in, register. Computer's making some noises here, so I hope I don't. Go in, register, and see all of the elected officials, potential elected officials, and so it's an even playing field. So that's all that they need to do for their campaign. They don't need to raise a bunch of money for television commercials and mass media commercials and all kinds of social media and algorithms that are going to say this message directly to the people that the constituents will already be collected by their address and you'll see the most engaged constituents in your voting population, and more will join every day, right? Just to see, here's the policy, here's the thing, and we can do away with the attack ads and all of that stuff, right? So with Periscope, and if it's fully funded by the government, we can do it advertising free. The reason I proposed advertising that is voted on by all the constituents, this is who can advertise on here, is because I was trying to fund this independently from the ground up. But if the government creates a grant system or creates a budget for this platform, we can do it without any distracting advertising, just bare bones, here's this, 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 and this. Right? So I would say to judge corruption for elected officials, if they aren't approaching me about building the Periscope platform, if they aren't talking about the Periscope platform, and they take large donations into their campaign, they're corrupt. If they're a politician that only gets $10, $15 donations from their constituents, they're a lot less corrupt. Not, 20,000 constituents giving $15 a piece aren't writing a special note on every donation, oh, I want you to vote for this and I want you to vote for that. Someone donating whatever the max donation is, and then also saying I'm donating to the PAC that develops attack ads against your opponents, they're gonna be able to seek favors from that politician, so they're corrupt. That politician is corrupt. So we have corruption where politicians are taking income for personal use, and we have corruptions where politicians are taking income for their campaign. It doesn't have to be that way. Campaign finance reform can happen. It starts with the Periscope platform, an even playing field where the information is there for people to see in one resource for everyone they can vote on. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the state capitals project, Glitch for Twitchy Mitch project. I want to explain why I want to buy a federal fleet style vehicle. Right, because I'm starting with the state governments, the state politicians who are going to move up to the federal level at some point. We're focused on them to clean up the government of the United States of America. I didn't say anything about going to D.C. and trying to look into federal senators and congresspeople. But we have the fleet vehicle that is the most common federal fleet vehicle there is on the roads today. It's 2-3 years old. I plug my primary USB with all these videos into the ignition system, and I drive around the continental United States. This acts as a reference point for the supercomputers, artificial intelligence, satellite systems to diagnose and monitor other fleet-style vehicles on the roads. So this protects the government agents, the government employees in these fleet vehicles that are good, that are not corrupt. It'll protect them on these roads with all these crazy autonomous features on all these vehicles out there. It'll protect them, keep them safe. Now for the corrupt government agents, corrupt government employees, well, as I phrased it on a direct message on Instagram yesterday, they may get what they deserve. And I'll just say it like that, right? Maybe those fleet vehicles that those people are in are wiretapped, and conversations are overheard about how or where bribes are offered in those vehicles. Maybe it's just conversations overheard with their partner who's not corrupt, saying I was offered this bribe, what should I do? And the uncorrupt partner says you need to report that, so on and so forth, right? All the way up to hypothetical, more engaged solutions to eliminating corrupt government employees and agents. I can't predict what the supercomputers are going to do, what the artificial intelligence is going to do, but I've made a full-fledged effort to warn the Pennsylvania government and its government employees about the dangers of having all of these autonomous vehicles and semi-autonomous vehicles on the roads. I can only assume that they have reported that to federal agencies, and I have never been contacted to do any research on any of these vehicles again. So that's the purpose for the fleet vehicle. It's a reference point. As I drive around, we can assume that these supercomputers, artificial intelligence, want to keep me safe because I'm the most neutral person in the world. I'm not corrupt. If I was a government employee, I would not take any additional funds other than my salary of $60,000 to $100,000 a year, right? I would function off of that. I might sit on the boards of multiple nonprofits and take a stipend from those nonprofits, or enjoy some of the accommodations of those nonprofits, hotel rooms for meetings, possible security forces that could be provided to me through the nonprofits. You know, bare bone things that could be allotted to me through by sitting on the nonprofits and creating the nonprofit platforms. But I would still rely on my government compensation salary package as my primary means of personal, fuel, food, mortgage, insurance, all of my bills. And that's the other thing I'll say about these elected officials, right? If they sit on boards of corporations that they're supposed to regulate, they're corrupt. These politicians, I'm not saying they can't have their own small businesses, regional businesses, local businesses, but they should set them up as nonprofits, right? If they feel a need to have an important business or be involved in something important in the business side of the economy, they should set it up as a nonprofit, be totally transparent, and show what benefits they get from that nonprofit and what compensation they get from that nonprofit. And that should be available on their website for their campaign. Alright, so we're cutting down on corruption. We have the fleet vehicle. As I drive around the country, we're keeping agents and employees safe. That's the main focus, is keeping them safe. If there's any other fallout involved, that's up to supercomputers and artificial intelligence. If they want to cut corruption in government employees, federal employees, maybe they keep police fleet vehicles safe. Who knows what the issue is. My job is, if I'm allotted the money to buy a newer federal government style fleet vehicle, I will be the reference point. I will create the reference point so that these supercomputers, artificial intelligence, can diagnose the ignition systems, the autonomous features and things as I enter into different wireless zones, different zones where satellite systems are pointed, so on and so forth. Alright, so my blood work, I got all my blood work back. I do not have HIV, so that's good. The only thing abnormal was my glucose level was a little high. My doctor called yesterday, her assistant called and wanted me to do another blood draw. So I will be doing it at the Quest Diagnostics on Center Avenue in the building that we're focused on. Probably not until after Mitchapalooza, because to be honest, I will be imbibing for the next 2 weeks. I might be eating a lot of sweet treats, and the glucose means I might be pre-diabetic. I don't want to find out I'm diabetic before my birthday, really. So I'll wait till afterwards to get that blood draw. The last thing I want to talk about is a movie pitch. It's a film pitch for all you celebrities out there, celebrity athletes, celebrity musicians, celebrity actors, actresses. It's a movie about CIA operations, NSA operations, government operations, right? Every Wi-Fi zone you enter into has pre-programmed operations. Every bar you walk into, every nightclub, when your phone enters into that Wi-Fi zone, you get to see who's coming in after you, right? It's about a guy similar to myself that gets to experience all of these government programmed operations, right? So, for example, these are real things that happen to me. You're in like the Cativo dive bar in Lawrenceville the night before New Year's Eve, or it might have been New Year's Eve, and you're standing at the bar having drinks, and a drunk girl falls at your feet, right? So you pick her up and you take her outside and you help her order an Uber. That's like an operation of the girl could have known who I was and wanted to meet me, or just, was really actually drunk. You never know if it's an operation or an acting ploy, right? Or, for example, you're seeing your favorite New Zealand band at Spirit Nightclub in Lawrenceville. You can only find a spot at the very back of the show, of the audience, and next to you is a man with crutches. He's a Australian military personnel doing his best United States accent, right? He's got his cast and his crutch, and for some reason that's the operation that appears when you go to that concert. So it's like a detective, like this guy, like myself, going into different nightclubs, going into different businesses, places, and experiencing different pre-programmed operations. And it is intercut with some celebrities experiencing this, the people who get close to them backstage, our plants, our actors, our rehearsed type of situations. It also intercuts with how stadiums, professional sports stadiums, are the most mapped out, wireless, intense wireless focus on them from satellites, from different things, and it breaks down the field, and it implies that while professional athletes train very hard so that instincts and reactions become automatic, when they are on the sports field, they are actually being controlled by wireless waves. And it's so that all plays into the movie. I don't know how yet. I'm not as skilled of a writer as some of those on strike right now, but that's my proposal for a film, right? It's about wireless, it's about celebrity and who you get surrounded with and how you experience different locations. It's about people, when your phone pings a Wi-Fi zone, they get notified to come into a bar or check out, or they just do it out of instinct, but that instinct is there because of all the wireless waves and the satellites and things like that. So just a proposal, but that's what I want to put out there. So thanks for watching, and join me next time, possibly tomorrow, when I talk about something else. Until next time, I wish you peace, prosperity, and homeostasis.